Here's something you've thought to yourself or said to yourself recently. If you're an entrepreneur or a business owner, you think that when you make more money, you will do less work. This is the classic teeter-totter that lives inside of everybody's mind. Once I get there, once I arrive, once we hit this revenue, this EBITDA, this net profit, whatever, I'm going to slow down and I'm going to do less work. I'm here to tell you, first of all, that will never happen. I promise you. The bigger you grow, the more that's going to be thrust upon you. Here's the truth. You will make more money as soon as you start doing less work. I'll say that differently. You will make more money as soon as you stop working. You should not be working inside your business. I'm not the only person to ever say this. I know that this is a classic cliche, but for some reason, it takes repetition to get it through everybody's mind. Classic Michael Gerber. Entrepreneurship is not fulfillment. I'll say it again because it's my favorite drum to beat. Entrepreneurship is not fulfillment. If you were doing the job of whatever it is you're fulfilling on, you're not doing the job of the entrepreneur. They're mutually exclusive. So if you own a bakery, don't be baking. If you own a mechanic shop, don't be fixing cars. You own a web design agency, don't be designing websites. Anytime you're doing the job of whatever it is you're fulfilling on, you're not doing the job of the entrepreneur. And the job of the entrepreneur is the most important job you have. If you were to split up the income opportunities into columns, right? There's 4 columns. There's a $5 an hour work. This is bullshit, horseshit, grunt work that you should never do, then outsource to a VA, automate, eliminate, whatever. There's $50 an hour work. This is hireable and trainable work on any given day with a reasonably proficient resource. There's $500 an hour work. This is where a lot of entrepreneurs live. This is the high-end negotiation, high-end sales, networking, management, etc. And then there's the $5,000 an hour work. This is your Neo work. This is your Neo column. Neo is the one. You are the only person that can do this. This is Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, Michelangelo, Oprah Winfrey. Most people never find the 4th column. That should be your goal in life, is to pursue the 4th column. But while you're in pursuit of the 4th column, live in column 3 and kill with fire columns 1 and 2. When you find yourself doing things like managing your own inbox, trying to schedule a calendar invite with somebody, any level of research, data entry, the majority of your time is spent in columns 1 and 2. This is not just a waste because that's massively beneath your pay grade. The opportunity cost is the fact that you're not doing your 3rd column work and you're not pursuing your 4th column work. So you figuring out what your 4th column work, this should be the pursuit of your life. But in order to do that, you need to not be in fulfillment. You shouldn't be on the org chart of your organization on a long enough timeline. I realize if you're small, by the way, start with where you are. Sometimes if you're a one-person shop, you're one guy or gal trying to do everything, that's okay. But as you grow, make sure you grow an organization that allows you to lift yourself outside of the organization. The very first thing you should do is replace yourself with fulfillment. And if you can't replace yourself with fulfillment, at least get yourself a really strong assistant who makes fulfillment so much easier. So again, to repeat, and I hope I'm not being too aggressive, I'm not trying to shame anybody because this is a mistake that we all make. It took me 15 years to really learn this well. Entrepreneurship is not fulfillment. You shouldn't be doing the job. If you're doing the job of whatever the fulfillment agent is, you're not doing the job of the entrepreneur. And if that's the case, you're not building a business, you're not growing a business, you're not scaling, which is a word that I hate massively, and we'll talk about why later. You're enslaved. You don't own a business, you own a job. So back out. The less work you do, and I swear to God this is true, and this has been true my entire entrepreneurial life, the less work you do, the more money you'll make. And I know that sounds insane, but it's true. The less work you do, the more money you'll make because you will be freed up to do the things that an entrepreneur needs to do, and that's where the real money is. Any time for dollar trade is an inadequate trade. I don't care how much you're making on an hourly basis. Any time for dollar trade is an inadequate trade. As an entrepreneur, you should be looking at building mechanisms, hiring people, building processes that allow you to profit in a framework that has nothing to do with your time for dollars. It can be other people's time for dollars, right? You build the, what would you call that? The marketplace that allows you to profit off of the arbitrage there. But any time for dollar trade is an inadequate trade. And if you're playing that game, you're never going to be able to lift yourself out of it. So, entrepreneurship's not fulfillment.